All right, and we are recording. Hey guys, welcome to another video here at TrinFX. My name is Josh, founder of the TrinFX community group, where I send my personal trades both for VIP and free members. All right, in the group, I try to target within the in the group. I try to target within the normal trading channel 5% for the week, and VIP, of course, we actually look to achieve beyond that 5% a week return. All right, so what we're gonna do today, we're just gonna discuss some of the trades that were taken this week, things that we could have done better, trades we could have possibly stayed out of in order to get a better yield, and overall, how could I personally improve my trading strategy and help you, put you at ease within the Discord community when it comes to taking personalized trade setups from a profitable trader. All right, so we're going to use I'm going to use the VIP group here first, some of the trades that were called, and then we'll move on to the trades that were taken within the free Discord channel group. All right, so first off, this was the first trade sent right here. This is Euro GBP. All right, and if we look closely right here, that was the first trade sent into the sell here with a 19 pip stop loss. All right, you can see the chart here. We entered right above here into this area of resistance, and if you just pull up the chart, guys, you can see this a little bit more clearer. Right, that was right around this area right here. This is where we actually entered the trade right here, right, with the first initial setup for a continuation move downwards after a 4-hour rejection and even a daily rejection zone right here. As you can see, if we're looking at the daily channel, right, the daily chart, we can see this downward channel in play, right? Another thing that I noted as well was this area right here of rejection, right? So this is a rather strong area, or at least an area of some importance. Reason being why I chose this an area of importance is because of this one daily rejection zone right here, right? So look at how strongly price reacted right into this area and pulled away from it, right? Again, this is a daily candle. So for whatever reason, price reached into this area and strongly rejected from it. If we're looking on the 4-hour, we could see that as well here, right? Price strongly rejected from this area. So once we did get a break below that area, we can now mark it as an area of some sort of importance, right? Because previously it did play a role within the price action of the chart, right? We got a rejection here, then we got a strong break to the downside. It retested and continued moving down, right? So once we did get a clean retest of that area, we can now say with a little bit of certainty that we're probably going to see a rejection from that area, right? Because again, we have identified on the larger time frame, we are in a downward daily trend, right? Looking at the 4-hour, now we're looking at our areas of supports, resistance, supply, demand, order blocks, whichever one you use in your strategy and implement it, right? So this was an area of importance. We looked for that clean retest of that area, right? Failure to break that structure. So at that point, we could have entered a sell for continuation. And that is what this trade was based off of, right? Those multiple rejections from that area. So once we did see another rejection here, we had a sort of a bias that we're going to continue seeing that downward play. But as you see, price did come here and retested even higher, but then we did have another clear break. At that point, I did enter a setup right around here because given the fundamentals and the technicals, there were no reason to indicate, or anything to indicate for that matter of fact, that price is going to continue up, right? So we stopped with the initial bias, got into a better entry point right around here, right, as the candle pushed solidly to the downside, and then a continuation moving on, right? That's why you see two trading positions right here, right? This was a nice trade that we took inside the VIP group. Price came into this area right here, as you can see, multiple times retested that area. We came out right around here because at that point, if price is showing some hesitance to continue moving down, there's usually something larger at play, preventing that move to the downside, right? So we took our profits around 6% in total, right? This was a 6% on this smaller one, and around a negligible about 2%, right? I don't think we took it at 2%. We took it somewhere right here at 1.4, right? And that's where we closed the trade for around 8% profit, right? So this was the first trade that we took. Obviously, this happened over a period of time when it was initially taken at the starting of the week, right? And then ended right here on the 9th, right around here, right? And as you see, price continued even lower. I did have this area right here that you see marked. If we got a break below this area, which was this, I was actually looking at the point of time, this red candle, was looking to see if the other candle would break below this area, then we could have entered another sell opportunity for that continuation moving down, right? One thing to note here, and I'm just going over these charts chart by chart rather than skipping one and the next and so forth, right? So we'll deal with one chart first, analyze it, things that we could have done better, things that we should have seen, or that we would have saw if we looked at it at a different perspective, right? So again, I marked this area around that time because at this point my bias is still to the short side, still looking for GBP strength to play out against the euro, and there was no indication that price is going to actually reverse and continue higher up, right? Again, on the larger time frames, we have already identified the structure, the market structure, that price has been continuing to follow over a long period of time, right? So we marked this area right here. That is what I did. The rejection that we got here, right? Price came into that area, a strong bullish rejection from that area, right? Multiple times here again, and then once here again. If we did get that breaking structure, more than likely we're going to see more selling pressure continuing to the downside. And you see we did have that break, which would have been this candle right around here on the 11th, right? Unfortunately, I didn't enter this trade, which would have been today, right? I didn't actually enter this trade, but you can see we did get that break of structure of this little support area, right? Price did break this area, and we did get that continuation down to the overall TP target that we were looking at, right? So this was one play that we did have it, right? But just waiting for price to do what it should have done at the initial starting of the trade, is something that I personally don't have the patience for, right? So another thing to note, you should feel comfortable taking your profits early, around 3%, 2%, even if it's that, right? Having a trading position or having been in 2% profit is a lot better than a trade actually reversing on you and breaking even. Don't be afraid to take your profits early. There's no shame in doing that. Securing your profits helps you trade another day, right? A lot of times we as traders do get enveloped in actually making high returns rather than focusing on the goal itself, the overall goal, which is for most traders making 10% for the month, right? 10% is the normalized standard amount that every trader should feel invested in making every month, right? 10% is the realistic goal that we could make every month, practicing proper risk management and also taking and not deviating from our trading strategy or plan that we set aside for ourselves, right? 10% is the industry standard as well. So that is something that you should know. Don't get caught up in making the most amount of yields that you could from any particular trade, even though I do say that, and that is my personal stylized trading strategy and plan, right? My strategy involves me using more or less, sometimes when it is applicable, tighter stops in order to get better yields from each trade I do take, right? This is sort of a duality between it, right? Because there are possibilities of being stopped out of a trade early on and that trade continuing into your direction, such as this being one, for example, right? But it is something that I do find myself being comfortable with and able to switch it in between, right? So something like this, for example, if I did send it to the VIP group and anyone had an issue with it, you could just simply extend your stop loss, and therefore you will be able to be more comfortable taking the trade idea, trade analysis yourself, and even stylize it to suit you and how you trade with your trading strategy or plan, right? But I do find that this is very profitable for me. That may not be the case for other traders. Some people are uncomfortable with seeing that tight stop loss, right? So it all depends on you and what your trading strategy is, what you feel comfortable doing. This is what I do. It has worked for me multiple times. I believe anybody could attest to it as well. And yeah, that's all I have to say on that, guys, right? Just a little segue. But continuing moving on, right? So this was a trade that played all the way out. We did see what we expected to see after this nice, very unexpected bullish move from the euro, right? This was around the time when the European Central Bank, right, the ECB, did announce that they were expecting, they are expecting to make changes to their policies as early as December of this year or even earlier, right? This is increasingly bullish for the euro, as they have been more on the negative side of policy changes and overall economic recovery kind of lagging behind other economies that have already done so, right? So this was a very unexpected bullish move. Price pushed all the way up to this resistance area right here in the larger daily time frame, right? And this is where there was some fundamentals come into play as well on this particular setup, right? We did see that euro push. However, this is an overextended push, right? This is basically optimism, things for the euro looking a little better economic wise. So we did see that push, that euro buy happening. However, technically and even more so on the larger scale of the fundamental side, we have yet to see that these policies actually become implemented from the European Central Bank, right? So this move was more likely to actually correct itself, whether it happened at that same point of last week or during this week, right? And that is why I felt more comfortable taking this trade at this particular point right here. We had technicals supporting the trade idea, also the fundamentals of this being an overextended, overexaggerated move in favor of the euro, right? So this has also the potential to correct itself again moving into this new week, next week, right? So we could see a potential correction of this move still going all the way down here at the ending of this daily channel, right, where price previously did that push before. Right, so break below, we could possibly see a continuation into these levels. Right, but this was a nice little trade that did give us a lot of profits from within the VIP section of the group. Right, another trade here, NCD CAD. This was taken on the 7th of this week. Right, a sell with a stop loss of 12 pips, entering short on this trade beginning the week. Here with a breakout of the channel trend, as well as retest of larger 4-hour daily zone, rejection, looking for a continuation move downwards. All right, so let's just pull up real quick, look at it real quick, and see what is he talking about. Okay, so this is the chart. I actually cleared this chart, guys, so just give me a minute to get everything back to how it was. Alright, so again, this was taken on the 7th, somewhere around right here. Right, we're looking at these areas right here. Let me just split screen this, guys. Alright guys, so this is the second trade that we took here on the VIP Discord channel, right? Discord section, sorry, VIP section of the Discord community, right? This is NZD CAD. So like I said, what I was looking at particularly for NZD CAD, right, entered short with the beginning of the week for a breakout of the channel trend, as well as a retest of larger 4-hour daily zone rejection, looking for a continuation of that move. right? And you see we did get that continuation down here into around this level, right? If we're looking back on daily, right, what I'm talking about, right, this is daily. Alright, we can see that we did have these rejection wicks right here. We do have a sort of a upward channel movement, right, on the daily time frame, right? So we do see that little upward movement right here, larger on the daily time frame. If we're looking at 4 hour, this is what we had, right? That daily move to the upside. Alright, however, this is it. Daily move to the upside, right? However, we did have a break of that structure right around here, right? If we go to the 1 hour, you can see this a little bit more clearly, right? We had a break of that structure right here. Price came, retested that area, and then we had a strong bearish candle engulfing of that price retest, right? So we had this little candle formation right here that gave us an indication, okay, we could possibly see a sell-off of this channel trend, right? Because price was within these ranges. However, at this point started rejecting bearish from this level, right? Tried to pull back in, but then failed to do so. Market opened, and then we saw this breakout right here and these new levels forming right here as well, right, along with the daily level that I did just now tell you guys about, right? So this is the daily level that we're seeing right here, right? So coupled with that, this looked like a potential trade that we could have taken to the short side, which we did. Entered short, 12 pip stop loss, right? Target was down here, targeting into this level right here of that channel zone, right, for price continue and push away from, right? But as you see, price reach into this area right here, retest, right, rejected, right, formed a sort of minor support right around this area right here. Then we had a bullish counter rejection, right, indicating, all right, this is probably as far as we're going to see price push below, right? So we're probably gonna see a failure for that continuation at this point. Exited the trade for around 3% return, right, as price came back right into here. So around 2.73% return, right? So that was a nice little trade as well to begin the week for us in the VIP community, right? And as you see, price started rejecting even more, continuing back to the upside. Then we had a retest here, and as you see, price continued moving upwards, right? We did have sort of a, I don't know what you would call this here, guys, but yeah, that happened. So this happened over here, right? Overall for the week, we did see some sort of very peculiar price movement from the NZD as well as from the GBP, right, and also the Japanese yen. So we did see some haphazard price movements, unexplainable to me at least. I see no fundamental reason for why these things did happen. The NZD in particular was a little bit laggy behind the Canadian dollar, so this was a very unexpected, was not unexpected, but least expected move to the upside in favor of the NZD over the CAD. Again, these currencies do flux with different news and new information being released. So maybe something about oil inventories came out or something like that that negatively impact the Canadian dollar for the time being and allowing the NZD room to actually stretch and continue moving onwards, right? I try to keep up with as fundamentals as much as possible with my daily job, but again, there are times I would miss certain things happening throughout the day or the week, right? So this was a nice little trade right here. We were able to capitalize on that. Price came back to the upside for whatever reason. If we're looking fundamentally, guys, I really can't tell anything that did happen to influence that move. Right, we're looking at the 7th. All right, so this is the news that we had for the 7th, right? We're looking nothing NZD related, nothing CAD related, except for trade balance on Tuesday, which was the 8th. So it could be something such as oil inventories or something that came out on the sidelines that helped push the entity forward, right? We did also have some USD news that did came, and that also impacted price on very different levels as well. So that was a nice little trade. You can cut your profits here, right? Or leave risk running according, because as soon as we entered, price started taking off, started making that profit, right? Another trade right here, GBP USD buy, entering a buy on GU, looking for a continuation higher. This trade is mostly fundamental based, with the weaker USD expecting to see a continuation of USD weakness for now across multiple pairs. Choose this one in particular because we have higher interest for the GBP in net bullishness for the currency, unlike the others, and the stop loss was 19 pips. What I meant by a net bullishness is overall the GBP is a lot more bullish in terms of their monetary policies, and they have already raised their interest rates, right? So as you know, when a economy raises their interest rate, it is taken as something to be bullish by investors, therefore affecting price in a very positive way. So that is something that we did look at and that we were looking at as well. Right, so you can see this was the trade right around here, guys. Right, again, this is on the 7th, right? We did have a sort of a divergence here at play as well, right? A little div setup as well. You can see that happening, right? Price pulled from this area, pulled a little bit downwards again. Long setup right around this area right here. Price started pushing from, and I'll just edit this out so that you guys can just see we continue on. This was the trade setup basically, right? So again, if we're looking at the daily, we're looking at the 4-hour, doing our top-down analysis. This is what we saw. Right, so in daily, we're seeing more bullish candle movement. Right, we did have again some fundamentals at play, weaker USD and a more stronger GBP in comparison. Right, we did have this sort of a support level being formed as well right here. Right, if we're looking over here to the left, we can see that this is an area that price has rejected from strongly, right? Pull downwards, then we start seeing a little bit more of a bullish movement here as price came up, break above. We got that retest here, this strong bearish retest into that zone again, right? This support was maintained. So when we did have this pull lower, and again, this is because of some fundamentals that was at play as well, which is why I stuck with the trade, right? We got that pullback here. We got a little div set up as well. And from this area, was looking at the support to be maintained and held, and for price to continue pushing away from there, right? As you see, we did have that price push. We even reached, hold on, stretch this out. This was a 1 to 5 trade, right? We even reached very close to that profit target right here, right? Right around 4.3, maybe 4.2%, right? This is on the 9th after price did all this dipping and playing around. It continued and it even played all the way up to the profit target, right? I don't think we didn't stay in this trade. I personally didn't stay in this trade too long, right? Because price started doing some playing on the overall price action. Again, if I do take a trade personally, I like the trade to be clear, very uniform, or at least, right, seeing the candle movements that I would like to see, because the fundamentals, price action align. There shouldn't be any reason for price to be playing like this unless there's some underlying news or event that we are missing, that I'm missing, right? So I like to take trades that are clear, clean cut, good setups, avoid all of this mess, right? Because there are other opportunities that would occur. I don't like to be being held in over leverage or in situations where I can't enter a new opportunity because I'm already in an old one that's just playing the ass, as we say in the Caribbean. Right, so this was a setup. As you see, it played out pretty well. Came to the upside. If we will holding overall, right? This would have been around the area where we took our profits at 2.6%, right? Because one thing to note right here, with the general price action, this became a sort of a resistance zone, right? So at this point, if you're just looking right here in the middle of all of this noise, this would have been sort of a range for you, because price kept on coming back into this level, rejected here, right here. I believe we actually entered another trade around here, and then price, started to come up, and we got that breakout. And at that point, it's time to take profits, call it a day. No need to be holding the trade if we just can't see our profit target being hit immediately, right? And this was a relatively tight stop loss as well, being 18 pips overall, right? When I do send these trades, I tend to increase the pip count for the stop loss. That way, if any stops do incur, right, if we do incur any stop losses, it's a lot less than what you would have accounted for, because I marked the stop loss at a higher area, right? So your lot size matches that, but when the stop is lower, then you lose less than you were expecting to lose in the first place. Really kind of levels everything out, right? So this is when we entered another position on the Euro GBP for the sell with the 8 pip stop loss for the smaller GBP sell. Ran and extended that to the lower side, right? I was looking for that rejection to continue on, right? Entered another NZD short right here, right, as price pulled back. But again, as you can see, we didn't get that continuation. We saw that sort of support level being formed right here on these wick rejections, and we just didn't get that continuing move to the downside, right? So that resulted in a negative 1% loss right there, right? GBP/USD buy, right? Stop loss 12 pips, entering base of the current price action, expecting a breakout to the upside for a continuation. If the current 1 hour candle breaks above, then buys are more probable. Can wait for the candle close, entered early with a 1% risk, and setting a buy stop higher for a continuation if we saw that break. Alright, so this is this was a scaling opportunity right around here. Right, this is on the 1 hour chart. Let's just see if we could trade that level right here, right guys? So you could get a clearer picture, as well as the, what is he talking about? I'm sorry, that's my new line to say right now, guys. So yeah, this was the trade over here. A long position. We entered right around here. I want to say right around here, right? And let me just edit these levels for you guys, right? So let's just go into settings, edit these levels. Price action level, we entered around 335. The profit level was at 136049. Some really offsetted targets, right? Why not just 150? Why can't he round it off the whole number? I don't know. That's just how I said it, and that's what I get, guys. I don't control this. I don't control it. My 8-ball does, right? Yeah, so this was a trade. Right, so we entered right around here and the counter rejection. Price came up a little bit right into this area. Right, so at this point, this is where you look to lock off, at least break even. We did break even at that point, so we didn't get stopped out in a loss totally. But again, as you see, if we extended that stop a little bit lower, we could have gotten that play out all the way to the upside for another 5.9% win, or around 6%, right? So this is one of the drawdowns, I would say, for my trading strategy. Because you do have instances where price starts to do these crazy things and does this, right? So you get stopped out, but your overall direction, analysis, and bias actually plays out and is consistent with the trades that you do take, right? So that's just a caveat to my trading strategy and what I choose to implement, right? I don't use this all the time, only when the opportunity does present itself for me, and most of the times it actually plays out in my in my direction and plays out perfectly for me, right? So broke even at this point. I think I did say to do that as well within Discord. Right, we did do a GBP JPY buy. I'm looking to see if I said to break even, guys. Right, so oh yeah, 3% profit, feel free to exit or break even, right? So yeah, right around that area where price retested. I didn't get stopped out all the way, right? I didn't get stopped out, but price continued up even higher. So if you did enter another position right here, again, the same buyers, no reason for it to switch on us. Could have taken the chance and profit off of the trade, continuing on, right? So that's a 3% profit. Feel free to exit here. Break even, did break even previously. So anybody that was in the trade didn't get a loss, actual loss, was able to protect their overall capital as well. And as you see, those were the trades that we took, right? And so far, profitable trades. The only loss that we did incur in the VIP was that 1% loss on NZD CAD, which I honestly shouldn't have entered. I had no business entering that because it didn't confirm with all my confirmations for that entry, and I did see that minor support level being formed. I don't know, maybe FOMO came in and I took the risk. You have to take risk in order to make it in this market, right? In this niche, right? So that was the one loss that we incurred so far. Maybe you could call this a second loss right here, but even so, if that was a 2% loss, we had that 3% win, also had the Euro GBP playing out, and things were looking very nice thus far for the beginning of the week, right? If we just go back right here, we have an AED CAD and a GBP JPY buy, right? I was using 2% risk on this, although I do suggest using your normal 1% to 0.5% risk, especially if you're somebody that's taken signals, guys, analysis on a funded account. Funded accounts do have rules and things that you have to keep in mind when you are taking signals or analysis from someone else, right? My account size, your account size are two different things. The amount that I'm comfortable risking might not be what you're comfortable risking. Therefore, if you are taking analysis from someone, a mentor, provider, whatever, the signal service, whatever it is, you need to use your proper risk management in order to manage your trading account, right? Nothing is guaranteed. I don't know how many times I have to say that throughout these videos. Nothing is guaranteed. Nobody has a perfect 100% win rate trading plan, right? There are times things will falter, and you as a trader need to be able to cater for those times, right? You need to be able to cater for when those when those times do come, right? You need to be able to manage your trades, manage your risk, and protect your capital from events like these, right? So this is another trade here as well. Let's just look at what we say. I try to write down the gist of what I'm looking at whilst sending these trade ideas, analysis of when I'm taking them, because sometimes depending on the trade itself, these moves could happen instantaneously, and you just weren't there to profit off of it because I spent an extra 5 minutes explaining everything in detail why I'm taking the trade, right? So right, looking for a break and continuation here as price moves higher, looking to that break of the current resistance and also waiting for momentum pre-New York. So this was earlier during the course of that day, around on the 8th itself, right? So we see these levels, and I believe this is the same chart, right? I kept the same chart. GP, JPY, right? Same levels right here, right? Let's just make sure everything matches. Yep, same levels, right? So you can see right around here, the initial takeoff, the move, right? Price came pretty close to stopping us out, right? Some people probably got stopped out. I don't know. I use IC markets a lot of times when things like this incur. I don't actually get stopped out. It's just feel that slippage, right? but price did come right here, tapping like almost to the pip, probably 0.5 off. Right on this chart, it just shows that it wicked us, but it was like around one pip, 0.5 pip away from the stop loss, right? Most brokers would have probably just taken you out of the trade. Your stop loss would have been viewed as hidden, right? But you see, price came here, we got that pushback, then we got a break, right? At this point, I believe anybody, right? Again, the analysis be on 100%, if not 90%, right? Accuracy. So when I do take my fundamentals and technicals and I align them, they align, and I do take a trade setup, the accuracy and the likeliness of it actually occurring is very probable. Right, so we did get that break above here as the New York market opened. Right, we did see that break above this resistance area. Sorry, let me just, I don't know why I had it in view like that, guys. Right, we did get that break above right here. Price came back, it's retested, right, a little bit lower below that level. If we actually pull this down a little bit, we will see it's in that same area, right? So we did retest into that same area. Right, I just like using a little of a smaller support resistance area sometimes, right? So price retested, and then boom, we had that played out all the way up here even, right? We saw that continuing momentum. Price pushed all the way up here, which would have been around again a 6% profit, right? If we did held, if any of the people within the VIP retook this trade, right? Price played all the way up. This move was fundamental based, right? We did have some fundamentals coming into play as well, strengthening the GBP during that time, causing this push higher. And also we did have some negative outlook on the Japanese yen when they said they weren't looking to do anything about their yields, which caused this move, right? So somewhere right around here, right? So this being said, we did get that push upwards, a little bit more positivity with the GBP. This happened across multiple pairs, right? So I think yeah, I think this happened right around here for the euro as well, and the USD, right? So yeah, somewhere around there, guys, right? So this did sort of happen around multiple pairs, more pronounced on the GBP, right? Again, the move did play out, may have got wicked out right around here to the pip, and then price continued moving onwards. At this point, we did note that, okay, we are in a daily level, right? This is a daily rejection zone. If we look in here to the left, we can see that, right? A clear daily rejection zone. So at that point, we could look for sell opportunities, looking at that selling pressure actually coming into the market, and pushing price downwards back into that level of support, which would have been right around here. So at that point, mark it up, took another trade right here downside. I believe I took this one within the free channel, right? And I was just like, label it out, showed you guys, okay, so we are the daily zone. More than likely we're going to see a continuation move downwards from this area, right? Price is going to come right here, retest, right, reject, because now we're looking at an area of a lot of resistance, right? We could see that in the past, price came into this area, rejected very hardcore from that point, right? So investors, market movers, as you will call them, at this point, they're looking to take their profits, looking to take their yields, and, you know, step away, enter a new position. Market orders getting filled for sell positions as well from the retail side and from the big bank, big investor side. So we're going to see a more pronounced selling pressure at that point. So entering buys, and this is something a lot of new traders do as well. They enter buys at the top of the highs of a move, right? Which is just asking for your account to be blown, right? At the high of a move, you shouldn't be looking to buy into anything or selling anything, because at that point there's market exhaustion, there's people exiting their buying positions, right? So the buying power goes down and the selling pressure actually increases, and that causes the market to now change its tone momentarily. And as you can see right here, this is a perfect example, right? Price came into that zone and we see that bearish candle formation starting to happen, and price just tanked, right here, pushed, came up a little bit right here, and then tanked, right? So yeah, selling position, pretty easy, right? It was a freebie basically, right? So that was it for the GBP JPY, right? 80 CAD, another one. Oh my god, guys, I can't stress how profitable the VIP group really do be at times, right? It's just phenomenal, to be honest. And I say that I'm not hyping myself. I'm not, I'm not a hype driver or anything like that. But it's just, it's just plain old truth. It'd be wild, right? So this was 80 cat buy, 10 pip stop loss, entering for a break to the upside for a possible retest of resistance on the daily time frame, right? So let's just take this out here. I believe I left the levels the same here as well. Right, so it's a little bit we could just move forward. Right, so price pushed up, we did get that push up, same 10 pip stop loss. Again, I do mark up the stop loss a little bit, so the loss incurred is a lot less than what you expect. Right, price pulled, we got that little formation right here, that push up, and boom, a continuation moving up. Price played all the way up for that 5% return on this one trade. We got that retest of that daily zone. Price rejected. Again, we could have sold at the height of that rejection, right? Because that is the daily rejection zone that we are looking at in the overall downtrend, right? We do have a sort of a downtrend channel happening here, albeit not the most prettiest one, but that is what we had happening, right? Looking right here on the 4-hour, we could see again price rejected from the zone, so the accuracy and the likeliness of this happening again is a little bit more probable, especially given the fundamentals as well that were at play at the point of time. I believe we had Westpac data coming out here on the 9th, and we could just look to kind of fact check me. Yeah, we did have the Westpac consumer confidence right at the night, around the 8th. On Wednesday 9th, we only had building permits, right? So it was around on the 8th we did have that happening on the 9th, right? And consumer confidence just shows the overall confidence of investors, owners. Okay, where do we stand in the economy at this given moment, right? Basically. And this was a trade setup. This was a play out. Price came all the way. We tapped in, rejected. Could have gotten it to the downside at this point, right? Overall, we were on with buys. Price came right here, right? We could probably look into the lower time frame right here on the 30-minute to just see this. Right, we had those multiple rejections right here. Price came, retested, boom, had to push up, right? And we could have entered a secondary buy, which we did right around here on the rejection of this candle, right? Tapped in and pushed higher. Right, so that was the trade, guys. That was the trade. 5% return. As you can see, I've stopped counting at this point how much of returns we made in the VIP, but it's just crazy as to what's achievable, right? That stopped out to the pip, right? I expected to move to the upside. This was on GBP JPY, right? I thought I got stopped out at the point because I watched it on the chart itself, and I didn't even bother to check my MetaTrader at before. But I was looking for that continuation, a secondary buy at that level, which was right around here, for a continuation moving to the upside, something like that, right? Let me just go. I think I moved that out when I cleared my charts. But yeah, it would have retested somewhere around here. Again, this is just one of the caveats of using a tighter stop for everything that you do, right? price came into that area, we were gonna stop down. All right, but overall data was just was accurate. All right, so that is one of the caveats of using that title stop, like I said. All right, so GBP USD, everything right, cut at 2%. Feel free to exit, break even. 80 cat secondary position, right around that area. That's where we bought in again and looked for scaling with 2% and stop loss 8%, right, scaling with that 80 cad. And again, this isn't something that I usually do with my trades, but if there is an opportunity to do so, I would do it, and it overall doesn't affect the actual profit of my actual profits that I am making if it were to stop me out. So entered right around here. I have to actually open this up so that you guys can see it a little clearer, right? The 80 card. Let me just hide this for now. And looking at these levels, making sure it's the same. 974, 974, yada yada. Right. So it was right around this area right here. And the rejection of this candle, price pulled up. Boom, played out 4%. Added to this, making this an overall 9% winner for that day. Right, simple, easy, nothing too out of the way with it. Yeah, right. Once you do have a clear understanding of price action, fundamentals down pat, this becomes just habit, right? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Really simple, simplicity at best, right? So yeah, this was overall 9% winner. Pretty easy. So yeah, that brought the overall profit of the group way up, right? And we did have opportunities to sell as well. I see 80 cad played out. I said congrats. I was looking at it from my trading view, right? Added to GBP position, was looking for a continuation here. You could see a little bit of greed came into this, right? But break even on GBP USD, I'm leaving it, but you can close to avoid any additional loss as the bearish candle forms. Close your GBP, 4% profit. Close all positions, no trades running. So we started fresh on the next day at the ending of the 9th. All right, US 30. This, guys, I cannot stress. This is why I do not trade indices. I don't trade US 30. I don't trade NAS. Don't trade G30 because I can't stand when I have something so accurate, so down pat. It really, really, really frustrates me as a trader when I have these things like this. Right, guys? Look at this. I had this. And again, I'm just a person. I use this trading strategy that allows me to use a tighter stop on my trades and maximize my overall yields. I mean, if I stretch this out just like by this, come on, right? But yes, this is how I trade. This is how I'm comfortable with. Could have waited for a more clear break to downside, maybe like this. We could have taken a secondary trade when we did see that retest happening right here. Overall fundamentals aligned as well as the price action overall, right? From the previous side, we did see that right here was an area where price rejected from, looking even further to the left, right? We did see that bearish movement, sorry, and those wick rejections right from here making this a more pronounced area to see some possible price action shiftness happening at that point of time, right? So yeah, this was the trade that I was looking to take on US 30. Profit would have been insane, right, if it just hadn't wicked us up, because I had like 38 lots open on this. All right, looking for a continuation lower after this rejection on the 4-hour support frame, as well as forward to some slight fundamental themes to come into play that may curb this current weekly bullishness. But we'll have to wait and see. This setup is preemptive towards the overall expected move I'm looking for, and as you see, that was the move. Right. So that was US30. That is what happened. That is what happened playing out. I'm sorry for making this video too long, guys. I'm really I apologize. Right. um and GCAD, we did have some selling occurring on this, and that is where we stopped out, and that is where we finished for the week inside the VIP trading group. Right, so we did make overall on the VIP over 21%. For the week, the previous week, we did do insane as well, and the week before that was around 44% or something like that. Right, so the VIP really it really is where the majority of the trades that are highly profitable I do send. And there is a cutoff zone at some point. Usually I aim for 5% a week. That is the goal, because if it is 5% a week at the ending of a month, that is 20%, which is a lot better than the industry standard, which is 10%. Right, overall we do have and we do gain a large amount of profits on the trade sent here. And yeah, that's it. I will show you guys my trading account. It's just too much, right? That'll lead to a lot of different things. I rather show the setups, the initial biases that I have. You can see here the timestamps when I sent them, when the trades played out. There's no way to fake this. So yeah, those were the trades in the VIP, and hopefully you learned something from this, guys. Any questions that you do have, feel free to hit me up either in my email, ask questions in the comments. I hope you did find some new information out of this. Yeah, and the Discord would be in the first comment of this video, and also in the description for anybody that wants to join or anybody that finds this video. I do hope you have a good week, had a great trading week, and look forward to the next one. So that's it for this video, guys. Be safe over the weekend. Review your strategy, review your plans, look at things and how you can make things better, how could you improve on certain aspects of your trading plan or strategy, and just overall grow and profit. Right, that's what my Discord community is about. Yes, I do have a VIP group. I also do have the free group where I do help as much as possible with these trades that I do look to take into. Right, so that's it for this, guys. See you in the next one. Peace.